Hi, I'm Paul Pasolka, Ivy Masters Learning Center and ivymasters.com. Today we're going to look at Test 5, Section 1, Number 16, which reads, what is Grimke's central claim in Passage 2? So one thing you want to keep in mind is that first and last sentences of paragraphs and first and last paragraph of the entire passage are really important in answering these questions. So we're going to see that first sentence of the first paragraph, you could probably answer the question just based on this, but we will look at some details throughout the passage as well that support. So, first sentence, the investigation of the rights of the slave have led me to a better understanding of my own. So, during that time, slavery in America was a slavery of race, and was not so throughout all of world history, but in America during that time it was a slavery of race. So she's talking about investigating the rights of the slave race rights, and she also says, has led me to a better understanding of my own. Who is she? Well, you see me using that feminine pronoun, but it says up here, it's Angelina E. Grimke. So we have the relationship between rights of slave race rights and the rights of women. And notice she's talking in this paragraph about human rights, and as we go on we see that she does go on about human beings having rights. And then she talks about men, but when she's talking about men, when she says the rights of all men grow out of their moral nature, she's actually talking about both men and women. She's using men collectively, which was common practice in language during that day, and this is through more than one language. You might know in Spanish some things are always treated as masculine. So as we go on, notice she's also mentioning the slave. These rights may be wrested from the slave, but they cannot be alienated. So she's talking about the rights of the slave. And down a little further, if the rights are founded in the nature of our moral being, then the mere circumstance of sex does not give to man higher rights and responsibilities than to women. And then she throws out some scenarios, and in the last paragraph we wind up seeing the conclusion, which is, when human beings are regarded as moral beings, sex, instead of being enthroned upon the summit, blah, 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 sinks into insignificance and nothingness. So she's saying sex does not matter as far as rights go. Whatever is morally right for a man to do, it is morally right for a woman to do. So you can see in her conclusion she is talking all about gender, but we do see race throughout the passage as well. When we look at our answer choices, answer choice A, the rights of individuals are not determined by race or gender. That looks like it's a good answer choice, hits the nail on the head. We'll look at the other answer choices. Men and women must learn to work together to improve society. It's talking about women's rights and race rights. Does not talk about men and women working together. Answer choice C is a common wrong answer. Moral rights are the most important distinction between human beings and animals. Why? Because there is a part in the passage where she is talking about the animal nature. So she says up here that circumstance of sex does not give to man higher rights and responsibilities. And then she says repeatedly, to suppose it does, to suppose it does, to suppose it does. And that's a rhetorical device she uses. And one of the things that she says is, to suppose it does would be to break up utterly the relation between the two natures, to reverse their functions and exalt the animal nature into a monarch and humbling the moral into a slave. So she does talk a bit about the animal nature, but she's saying that gender does not dictate rights and responsibilities. If it does, then we are like the animals. And so that is an attractive but wrong answer. And then answer choice D, men and women should have equal opportunities to flourish. Would she agree with this? I'm sure she would. Would you say this is true? I'm sure she would. But unless that is her central claim in this passage, we cannot choose that answer choice. That's also why C is wrong. May be true between, it may be true based on the passage, may not, but even if it's true based on the passage, if it's not our central claim, then we cannot choose that as our answer. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You could share it with someone who has trouble with main idea questions. If there's any question that you'd like to see answered from any official SAT or PSAT or ACT, you could leave it in the comments. You could also tag someone in the comments who would benefit from this video. And click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Have a great day.